Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. We are using the mermaids today. I think we're done with the Alice in Wonderland theme. So we'll give these cards a good shuffle this morning. I got a couple new little setup things happening here, so we'll see how it goes. Cards don't want to shuffle. Anyway, I was listening to the Human Design Energy Report this morning by Christine Strong, and we are in the sixth line of, I can't remember the gate that we're in, so that's probably not great, but I do remember thinking that the sixth line in an energy report is the, what did she call it, the role model. And I thought that was interesting, so I'm going to have to pay closer attention to that. I don't know if 1 through 5, well, I'm certain, I guess, that the 1 through 5 is the learning and the assimilation of it, but then the last line, if you will, Ronnie James Dio, the last in line. Anyway, the sixth line is the last line, and it is the role model. So, embodying all that we have learned and being the role model for other people. So a lot of times in our healing, we think it is up to us to heal other people, especially when we're new to the whole healing modalities. It's really not. It's up to us to model the healing behavior and inspire others to do the same and give them a safe place to do so, right? So it's not about forcing it on them. It's not about showing them their shadow necessarily. Although I will say I do have a couple of friends that we do that for each other, but we've made that agreement, right? And we've given each other permission to point those things out to each other. Unless you guys have that permission, it's really not up to you to show somebody their shadow, right? You just have to listen and be there and meet them where they're at and allow and accept them to find it. You know, you have to you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? Anyway, interesting little beginning to our day there. I haven't asked the question yet, so can you show us the current energies for today? Spirit, Source, God, Creator, Universe, can you show us the current energies for today? Spirit, Source, God, Creator, too many. Current energies for today, please. Spirit, Source, God, Creator. Okay, well, I've got a couple. So, the Magician. Interesting. I like this Magician card. It is, it's beautiful, first off. I mean, look at that. A lot of times in the traditional Magician card, you would see one hand up and one hand down, and it would mean that as above, so below. This one, we see her hand on the magic, the sun maybe. I see that as the manifestation. And then the other hand on desire, you know, that wand energy of desire. Her right hand is the action side and her left hand is the receiving side. So she's creating and receiving what she creates. Now she's kind of looking off into space there, and you can tell the wind or the tide, because she's a mermaid, right? Is flowing against her. Like she's kind of going against the tide. And there's a pentacle in there and a sword. There's the cups and the wands. So she's got all four elements there in front of her. But she's got her hand on that desire wand, the creation, the passion, if you will. She's very passionate about what she's doing, and she's very in her element. Obviously she's in water because she's a mermaid, and she's using the strengths of all four suits. She's using the love energy, the resources, the thoughts and the words, and the passion of desire of creation. I keep getting drawn to her tail. It looks like Nemo to me. I don't know. Something about Nemo. Finding Nemo, maybe. Maybe she's finding Nemo. I don't know. Either way, she's very diligent and she's very focused on what it is she's doing. She's not letting anything get in her way. That's for sure. And there's nothing although you can tell that the tide is kind of flowing against her with the way her hair and the seaweed is going, she doesn't appear to be out of flow. Maybe she's just going against the grain. She's going against what she was taught. You know, she's discovering herself. She's discovering that she has these abilities, that she has this identity that she never knew she had. And it's going against everything she's ever been taught. And that magician energy, I mean, that's big manifestation energy, guys. That's a beautiful energy to be in. So I think what this card is saying is be mindful of your thoughts and your words and your intentions and how you use your resources and what you desire, because you're going to manifest it very, very quickly. I like that. And then we've got Judgment in reverse. So Judgment, you got 2 major arcana. You got the number 1 to the number 20. I mean, again, you guys are jumping timelines like left and right. It's crazy to me how quickly your lessons are coming to fruition, to completion, really, right? The Fool would be 0 and the World would be 21. You got 1 and 20. Like, you're even skipping over the beginnings and you're kind of skipping over the endings. Like, you're not even really acknowledging that it's beginning or ending. You're just kind of flowing from one to the next without even stopping to pause to see it. And it's kind of like leaving the football game when it's 68-0. Like, what's the point of seeing the ending? You already know how it ends, right? Even if they score another touchdown or whatever, it's not going to happen. So Judgment in reverse is denying an error in judgment. It's weakness. So denying this judgment may prevent you from that ending. You know, maybe you do need to stay and watch the end of the football game. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's some type of thing happening at the end of that game that would mean something to you outside of the score. You know, maybe it's not about the score. Maybe it's not about keeping score. Judgment would be about keeping score, right? Judging others with that resentment, judging others with, you owe me because I gave you something, right? But denying that you've made the error in that judgment. Maybe you feel like somebody did you wrong and you forgot that you did them wrong first, or vice versa. Either way, this is it's a level of weakness. It's not being able to take your accountability. You know, you're manifesting. You can take the wins, but can you take the losses? Make sure that you're holding yourself accountable, guys. I talked yesterday a little bit about, and it might have been on the daily or it might have been somewhere else I was talking about it, taking too much responsibility or not enough responsibility. The idea being, you know, it's never just your fault and it's never not your fault. If you're involved, you have responsibility, you have accountability in there somewhere. And the same goes for other people. Right. I think we talked last week about responsibility pie. You know, you don't have to eat the whole pie, and you don't have to give the whole pie away. You got to share it a little bit, right? There's a balance to that. There's a balance of that responsibility. So when you're acting in judgment, be careful that you're not taking too much or giving too much. And actually, I heard another thing this morning that was talking about effortless effort. And what does that mean? Well, that sounds like a paradox, right? It's the desire to not desire, or the effort to, or the effortless effort. So not expending any effort in order to expend effort. The way she described this was, and it was a lady, I can't remember her name, it escapes me now. I do apologize, but these are not my words. The way she described it was a tree. You know, you plant a seed, and the tree makes an effort to grow, but it isn't pushing against, it isn't forcing, right? It's just the effortless effort that it just grows, right? And that's the flow that we try to be in a lot of times. And the other part too of this little lecture that I was listening to was to live in non-judgment. Do not judge other people, do not judge yourself, do not judge things. When we do judge other people and ourselves and things, and in a way that is toxic, I guess you could call, we would get this judgment in reverse. Look at it in the upright. We've got these protected bubbles, right? And this mermaid is passing judgment. And she's passing judgment on herself. I don't know if you can see that there. But she's passing judgment on herself. Maybe she's letting the other ones be protected, but she's judging herself harshest. We are our own worst critics, but it's in the reverse. So maybe she's judging her higher self. Or maybe she's just so weak that she's judging everybody. Her lower self is judging all these people in the bubbles. Either way, try living with the non-judgment. Try even just giving yourself an hour. Say, I'm not going to judge anything for 1 hour. And just practice it. It's muscle memory. It's figuring out how to do those things a little bit at a time. You don't have to go from A to Z. You go from A to B, from B to C, right? We talked about that. So that's our current energies, really big manifestations and being kind of weak in that judgment card, denying the errors that you're making in judgment. Maybe you're judging things and you don't even know you are. These reversal cards, guys, they're not bad. They're just making you aware. These are habits that we're breaking. These are layers that we're shedding. These are limiting beliefs that we are letting go of. So of course it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel not normal. It's going to feel like we're doing something wrong. And then we want to beat ourselves up for it. Well, that's not the case. It's just about observing. It's just about seeing things so we can fix them. That's it. Think about it scientifically. When a science experiment goes wrong, they don't have meltdown. They just tweak the ingredients, right? And see what comes next. I guess that would be more like a chemistry experiment. But either way, I digress. Can we get some messages to go with this energy for today, please? Can we get some messages for today? Messages for today, please. Messages for today. Messages for today, please. Two of Pentacles. Our white rabbit is back, you guys. Oh my gosh, that is just too funny. I have no words for that. Alice decided to come and make an appearance in the reading. Thank you, Alice. We appreciate you. Two of Pentacles is a balance of resources. It is, it's, I like that he's balancing with his foot and his ear, right? A rabbit's foot traditionally is lucky. I don't know if you guys are children of the 70s and 80s, but we used to carry our own rabbit's foots as luck. We used them as our keychain and whatnot. I hadn't even thought about that in ages, actually. So, those resources, when you do have that luck, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. Be grateful for it. And be happy about it. But don't count on it, right? You got to balance that luck with hard work and action, right? I hate to say hard work because you're manifesting, right? Hard work, it shouldn't be hard work. It's just effort. Effortless effort and luck, maybe, right? You could look at this as karma and luck. Balance it, right? Make sure that the resources that you're balancing are in fact balanced. My mom used to say this saying, she robbed Peter to pay Paul. I never really understood that. How I guess that would be like the ends justify the means, but I don't know. It never really sat well with me. At any rate, the Two of Pentacles, it's multitasking, right? It's balancing. It's juggling. Thank you. That's the word I've been trying to figure out. Juggling the two choices, right? Is it luck or did you earn it? Does it matter? It's yours. It's yours. It doesn't matter. So balancing out that juggling energy, but juggle those resources. Maybe this is a job. A lot of times the Two of Pentacles can be about a job, a new job, coming in and deciding between two jobs. And I think we talked about this last week too, is, when you are considering your two jobs, consider what your needs are the most. There's going to be times you have to take the job that pays higher that you don't like, and there's going to be times you have to take the job that pays lower because you're going to like it better. Are you in it for the longevity or do you just need the quick money? Either one is fine. Either one is on your path. Either one is going to serve you well, whatever choice you make is always the right choice for you at the time, as long as you're following your intuition. Now, if you follow your instincts, that's another story, right? Because those are old habits. Those are situations when you are acting as your younger self. And we talked yesterday about putting her to bed or him to bed. They don't have the knowledge, the experience, and the wisdom that you have now, right? Think about who you were when you were 4, 5, 10, 12, 14, 20 even. What do they say a lot of times? If you could go back to your younger self with the knowledge you have now, you'd do things different. Well, the disadvantage in that is you wouldn't be where you are today. And I suspect most of you like where you are today. I like where I'm at today. Am I thrilled with every aspect of my life? No. Am I thrilled with who I am? Absolutely. I have invested time, money, and resources into my growth, into my learning, into my spirituality. And that is what I chose to do. Some people wouldn't. That's okay. As long as you're happy with the choice. So this choice, if this is a job for you, and make the choice that's right for you. Not the one that's right for society, not the one that's right for your younger self. I think I heard it was Steve's Love Tarot I was listening to last night. His Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat reading. He does these readings where he picks 2 cards, 2 animals. You pick an animal, you have about half a second to decide, and then he flips a coin. And whichever animal is yours, he assigns you a card. And then he sees if you have a live cat or dead cat. I'm not going to go into what the Schrodinger's cat experiment was. You guys can look that up on Google. It's a pretty interesting experiment. Talks a lot about quantum physics and so forth. But either way, it was a neat reading. And at one point during the reading, he talked about it was a George Costanza energy. And it was something from Seinfeld. There was an episode, apparently, and I don't remember seeing this, where George Costanza decided, everything was going wrong. So he decided, well, what if I do everything opposite to what I think I should do? And then everything started going right. And I think I even said that last week. I had a conversation with my friend in Connecticut where I told her, I'm just going to do the opposite of what I think I should do and it'll work out. Because the instinct, not intuition, but the instinct is 99% of the time wrong. We've been taught wrong. We've been in survival mode for so long that we are accustomed to things being a certain way, to making decisions based on certain information, and we're still living in that past. We're letting our shadow self, our inner child self, because your shadow is the inner child. It's the shadow of who you used to be that is in control. And you're going to take that control away from him or her or it or whatever you want to call it, and start doing the opposite of what that child wants to do. And maybe sometimes it's not even the opposite. Maybe sometimes it's just bring yourself back to present, be here now, like we said yesterday, and then make your decisions. All right? Can I hear more about this 2 of Pentacles? Can you tell me more about this 2 of Pentacles? Tell me more about the 2 of Pentacles. Tell me more about the 2 of Pentacles. More about the 2 of Pentacles, please. Thank you. 7 of Cups. I like this card, but we have it in the reverse. But let's look at it here. So the 7 of Cups, this is an abundance of opportunities and choices, right? It's just, she's got something different in each cup. And it's, the world is her oyster, if you will. And in fact, I think she's even holding a pearl. But, each one is at a different level. Each one has a different thing in it. And she can choose anyone she wants. And she'll choose right, hopefully. But we have her in the reverse. So are the choices choosing her? Are you saying yes to everything? Is everything, does everything look like something you want and you can't decide between them? Or or has she made the decision? Maybe that's what it is. It's the clarity of the decision. Maybe the illusion of needing everything in that's in that cornucopia, if you will. The illusion of needing it all is over. You realize maybe you are the pearl. And any one of these choices would be lucky to have you. So you're no longer feeling obligated to choose everything. You're choosing you and what's right for you. And if this is that job that you're talking about, then, you know, weigh out the options. You know, look at what's lucky. You know, what did you fall into? Look at what you need. Look at what's going to keep you grounded. Brings you up and brings you down. Like it's balance. You know, what's going to give you the most balance? Making that decision from a place of feeling it instead of thinking it. You know, don't think about the decision, feel the decision. You know, give yourself 5 minutes on each option and then decide which one makes you feel better. That's how we do those things. Can I get some more messages for today, please? I think that kind of explained your decision for you. Whatever decision is you're facing, be it a job or whatnot. Messages for today. We've got the King of Cups. He almost looks sad here. Our merman. He looks kind of sad. And he's exposing his heart, but he's still protected. Like he's still wearing his cape. But he's exposing his heart. He knows when to expose it, when not to. And he also knows that giving that level of vulnerability may invite some hurt at some point. But he also knows he lives in the ocean. He can fill that cup up anytime he wants. He's not offering it, you know, the Queen of Cups would be offering it right away. He's kind of holding it back. He's making sure everyone has what they need, including him. And everybody's circling around him. I feel like this is you're going to attract a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are going to be drawn to that energy. You're going to need to be discerning. You're going to need to know if these people are in your highest good or not. You know, and it might mean turning some people away that you don't want to hurt their feelings. But you don't have to do it with malice. You don't have to do it in a way that hurts people's feelings. You can just do it with love. You know, send them away with light and love. I think it was I was talking to some friends last night. Yesterday was kind of a cluster yesterday, guys. It just, I kind of was in this energy of IDGAF, you know. I'll try not to swear this time. But in this energy of like, oh, well, I'm late. Oh, well, so-and-so is saying whatever. Oh, well, you know, I think I told my one friend, my philosophy is broken today. And she kind of chuckled. I was like, I just don't feel like putting the pieces together today. You know, I looked at the puzzle that was my life that I love working on every day. And I just decided, you know what? I don't feel like working on this puzzle today. And that's okay. And at one point I had told one of my coworkers, I said, they were talking about a situation, and I kind of came in late on the conversation, but talking about, I guess, another person, and seemed kind of like, well, you know, what do I do about this, that, and the other thing? And I walked up and I was like, you know what you do? Yeah, F them. Just F them. Just tell them to go F themselves. Like, it's all about you. Who cares, right? And we kind of all chuckled about it. But that was kind of the energy yesterday, right? And we have the full moon tonight, and the full moon will feel that energy a couple days before, a couple days after. And maybe we're kind of over it. Like, kind of over it. You know, this King of Cups, he tolerates a lot. He's got a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding. But that can wear you down at times, guys, and that's okay. But it's time to bring that back, I guess. My very long-winded way of saying, you know, you had your day of rest. You had your day of, I don't give a F. And it's time to come back and have that empathy. And bring it back and be the good parent that you are. Be the good nurturing, not nurturing, understanding. Nurturing would be Queen of Cups, but understanding, empathetic parent. Think about what that is. Think about what an understanding, empathetic parent would be. And be that, right? Because that's what our King of Cups is. He makes sure everybody has what they need and doesn't leave anyone out. And that is from an emotional standpoint, right? The King of Pentacles would be the needs of the kingdom and whatnot. But this is the emotional needs. This is the Cups card. It's all emotions. And we've got 2 cups in a row after our resources and pentacles. So it's going to be more about love than resources at the end of the day. Can I get some more messages for today? More messages for today. More messages for today, please. More messages for today. Messages for today. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm just going to cut to the oracle because it's been, I guess I usually do about 5 cards. More messages for today. Messages for today. Nope. All right. So we'll end the tarot portion there, guys. You know, it's not small. It's not a small message for today. Bring your A game in love. Bring your A game in that empathy and that understanding, and have that empathy and understanding for you. Make sure it's for you. You know, when you're making decisions about resources, make them with love. Make them with yourself in mind, and then the understanding and the empathy of others next. You come first. They come second. Right? Manifest your desires. Be careful about being wrong in your judgment. You know, a lot of times, and actually I just thought of this too. We grew up so being taught such dysfunction and toxicity that a lot of times when we do see healthy, we think it's toxic. You know, we see red flag, like one red flag, and we're right away off with their heads. Maybe they just made a mistake. Maybe it's really not a red flag. You know, give yourself a minute to decide that. Give them the benefit of the doubt at first. You know, you are at a better place where you can trust your instincts, not your instincts, your intuition. And so let your instinct fall in place. You know, yeah, it's a red flag. Make a note of it. Give them a chance. See if it repeats. See if there's more that comes. You need more data. You cannot judge on first impressions. Don't judge a book by its cover, right? It may look like what happened. I think it was during a reading I did yesterday. My dog Dakota was chewing on a cord, and she never chews on cords, and she was under the bed, and I called for her. I called for her sisters, thinking they were the ones chewing on the cord, and it wasn't. It was Dakota, which, you know, I judged the book by its cover. Evidence appeared, and I went with it, because 99% of the time, guys, I'd be right. 99%, but there was that one time I wasn't. This might be the one time that you're not. That's what that non-judgment means. Error in judgment. Okay, so get more data so you can make a proper judgment. You can make a proper decision. Yeah, I definitely feel like that's more of what that judgment card was than what was said earlier. Not that it was wrong, but it needed a little clarification. So we're going to get a mermaid oracle card. Since we're doing mermaids, we got a mermaid theme happening now, guys. Let's see what happens with that. I don't know. You guys start seeing stuff from the Little Mermaid, let me know. We already saw Finding Nemo, so it's definitely an under the ocean theme that's happening. Why not? We went to Wonderland. Let's go to the ocean next. Can I get some advice for today, please? Can I get some advice for today? Advice for today, please. Advice for today? Can I get some advice for today? Can I get some advice for today, please? Advice for today. All right. Advice for today. There we go. Oh, she fell on the ground. Give me a second, guys. We've got light. How beautiful is that card? The lighthouse. I see the lighthouse is the first thing that jumps out at me. Think about what a lighthouse does, guys. The lighthouse doesn't swim out to the boats to steer them in. The lighthouse just stands there and provides a beacon for the ships to sail to, right? And it doesn't judge whether or not they come directly to them. The ships can go anywhere on shore, but it provides a beacon, a light, for them to follow. They can choose not to follow it, though. It's up to them. And this mermaid is out of her element. She's on the beach. Maybe she needs to get back in the water and she's not looking at the beacon of light. Or maybe this is Ariel, who is deciding she wants to live on land. Maybe she decides she doesn't want to be a mermaid anymore. Let's look at the book for this, because it's been a long time since I've used Karen K's deck. And I kind of want to just see light. Here we go, light. Shine your light for all to see. You're like a lighthouse, and your light can illuminate any dark areas of your life. Actually, you guys, that's a good point. Are you being your own lighthouse? Are you following your own advice? You know, I always tell people I give really good advice. It's when I follow it that my life gets better. I used to say I'm a great coach and not a great player, but I decided that was too manifesting. I want to be the good player and the good coach. Why can't I be both? Why can't I be rich and happy? Why do I have to be one or the other? That's the lighthouse. Are you being a lighthouse for yourself? Are you saying the words that you're trying to manifest? Ask yourself that. What are you saying subconsciously that maybe you're blocking your own manifestations? This mermaid reminds you to shine your light wherever you go and to not be shy. She reminds you to be aware that light is attractive to others and acts rather like a magnet, drawing others to it like moths to a flame. And remember, I told you guys, you're going to start attracting the fishes surrounding up here. People are going to start surrounding you. You're going to be a magnet. Sometimes we feel as if our light is missing, but the truth is it's always there. Even when we stand in the shadows, the light is there to guide us. Perhaps your inner shadows are being revealed so they can be exposed to the divine light of your soul. Put the little girl to bed. Put the little boy to bed. Or bring them into the light. Either way, them being in the dark room, afraid and angry and in control, not working for you. Not working for you at all. It could be the right time to explore shadow work, a shamanic practice. So I actually do shadow work. It's very gut-wrenching work, guys. It's looking at yourself in a way that you've never looked at yourself before. And it is, maybe you can give the blame for why you are the way you are to somebody else, but the responsibility in fixing it, that's yours. Anyway, I digress. That's a little bit of shadow work for you there. When light is present, darkness can't exist. This isn't to say that darkness is bad, far from it, in fact. For the darkness gestation occurs in the womb-like sanctuary of darkness. Ideas are formed and protected. It's important to remember that both light and dark are necessary for growth. A seed grows in darkness before it reaches for and is nurtured by the light. That's that seed we talked about with the tree, with the effortless effort. You cover up the seed and it's in darkness. And that's where that spark of ideas comes from. That's where that passion to find the light comes from. Right, guys? Are you being called to shine your light for others, to show them the way physically, mentally, or spiritually? For when your light shines fully, you have the ability not only to illuminate your own path, but also the paths of others. If you feel your light is dimming, it's time for self-care. Nurture yourself with relaxation, meditation, and the healthy nutrition of fresh foods until you feel your energy and light restored. Well, that kind of speaks to how I was talking about the energy yesterday, right? My light was pretty dim yesterday. I'm not going to lie, guys. I mean, it's far be it for me to go and tell somebody to, when they're having a problem with a person and they're asking for advice, to tell them to tell the other person to go F themselves. Even I think at one point, my friend Sam, because I was talking to my friend Isaac, Sam had said to Isaac after I said that, she goes, "Oh, Sonora's having a day. Just kind of, give her a break right now, but maybe don't take her advice today." So, maybe that was me needing self-care, and I just took a self-care Sunday. So, but maybe I needed more than one day. Who knows? Maybe I just needed a good night's sleep. Either way, I woke up in a better mood today, so there's that. But know when you need self-care, guys. Understand that when you're not feeling it, when you're being too judgmental, when you're being too resentful, when you're feeling drained, give yourself that time for self-care, because that is going to inspire others to do the same. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Love you guys so much. We'll talk in a minute. Love and light. Hey guys, how's it going? So, quick little recap today. We switched to the mermaids. So the reason I chose the mermaids, I guess, I don't know, side note here, it was the first deck I ever got. That is, the one I used today was a second deck that I had to buy because the first one wore out, basically. But anyway, that was my choice. And actually it was requested by my friend Mike. I told him yesterday that maybe we were done with Alice in Wonderland, and he said, "Are we gonna bring back the mermaids?" So he seemed really excited about it. And I of course love mermaids. That's kind of like, I don't know, my spirit totem, what do they call those things? From the 7th dimension. There's a word for it. I'll think of it before the end of this video. Anyway, so we use the mermaids and we use the mermaid oracle. We'll stick with that for a little bit, but I found it interesting that we got the white rabbit again, right? And there was Nemo in there. So I kind of saw this theme of fairy tales, right? other worlds. We went from Wonderland to Under the Ocean. Like, nothing is about today, everyday life. The other thing I noticed, we went from Disney, you know, Little Mermaid and Alice in Wonderland, to Pixar, Finding Nemo. A lot of people don't know that Nemo is not a Disney movie. So a lot of times we judge that book by its cover, right? Anyway, side note on that. That was just kind of something I noticed. The other thing was, I kind of tied in the daily energy report. You know, Christine Strong was talking about the 6th line. And number 6 being the number of love, and we got the King of Cups, which was, you know, the ultimate mature love energy. The 6th line is also in the Human Design Report, the role model, and then we ended up getting the lighthouse. I mean, what better correlation, right? What was synchronicity there? Being the role model, doing your thing, and letting people do their thing, and then if they want to join you, you know, you're that beacon of light for them. I talked many times about last week. I kept saying, you know, last week we talked about this, last week we talked about that, and lessons learned, right? I really think the energy is going to be taking the lessons that we learned last week from the readings last week and putting them into motion and wisdom and embodying them. And it's not going to be about the attaboy, yeah, I did it. It's going to be about, have I inspired others to do that as well? So there's that. The other thing I said, agreement and permission. Agreements and permission. So make sure you guys, when you're doing these things with and for other people, you have their permission. When I do, you know, I'm a Reiki master, and you have to have someone's permission to give them Reiki. You know, it's just an ethical, energetic, ethical thing. When I do personal readings, I will not read for other people. So if someone's asking me, you know, is my husband cheating on me, I won't read the husband's energy. If it shows up or whatever, that's fine. But I don't think it's ethical to read another person's energy without their permission. I do these daily readings with the intention that you are giving permission by virtue of the fact that you're watching it. So there's that. And make an agreement, you know. At the end of the reading, I close the ceremony. I close the energetic loop, if you will. And at the end of a Reiki session, we close that session. You know, we give thanks and gratitude and love and light. And that's kind of what it means when I say love and light. I'm closing the energetic connection and sending you off with love and light. I talked about a few numbers today. So some numbers came up. I noticed the number 20 came up a few times. The number 20 card was judgment. I talked about, I think at one point I said, you know, when you were 4, 5, 10, 12, 14, or 20. 68 was in the football score. Any of those numbers mean anything to you? I'm not sure. 20 seemed to be the only repeating number that I could tell. Yeah, interesting. And then some names that came up. Christina Strong, George Costanza, Steve's Love Tarot, Karen K. And then I talked about my friends Sam and Isaac. So I guess any of those words or names, a lot of times those names aren't necessarily about the name. Right? Maybe Christina Strong. Maybe it's about being strong. Karen K. Maybe it's about, I don't know. I don't know. Interesting. Maybe that was for me. Steve's Love Tarot. Maybe it's about love. Maybe it's about tarot. Who knows? Another name, Dakota, came up. Dakota is a name, and it is a place. South Dakota, North Dakota, right? Dakota Fanning. I don't know. Anyway, bunch of names in there to see what those mean to you. And then 2 animals came up. I, of course, always talk about my dogs. And I mentioned a horse. Can't lead a horse to water. Or you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So maybe look up horse and dog. Dog, I guess off the top of my head, I don't have my animal book near me. It's in the other room. But a dog would be that loyal energy, right? The dogs are very loyal. And think about what a horse is very healing. Horses can read energy, and they are the most empathic creature on the planet. So there's a lot of equine therapy out there for healing modalities. And I actually did one in Sedona one time. It's pretty amazing. But horses are very healing. So loyalty and healing, you know, kind of themes for today. And the last thing I want to talk about, guys, is the shadow work. I mean, it's kind of a thing. It's what I do. It's what I read. A lot of these readings are pointing you to your shadow work. The dogs barked incessantly when I said stand in your shadow, and when I said put him to bed, referring to your younger self. So, you know, stand in your shadow, stand in your younger self's energy, you know, feel it, allow it to be felt, acknowledge it, and then put it to bed. Put it behind you, get past it, I think was the message there. So I'm going to leave it there. I am not running late today. I'm actually right on time. So I'm gonna go, and we will talk very soon. In fact, it will be tomorrow. Much love and light, guys.